Tonight, the Fitzpatrick plant is now refueled and returned to full power.
Governor Cuomo addresses a $25 million anti-hate crime grant.
And Mayor Billy Barlow will allow DARE programs in Oswego schools.
WTOP 10 Nightly News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP Nightly News. I'm Anthony Russo.
And I'm Taylor Kazak.
Mayor Billy Barlow announced today that the DARE program is returning to Oswego City schools. The drug prevention program was approved after Oswego police officer Thomas Grover completed his DARE instructor course. Barlow says he is proud to bring the DARE program back into our schools to better educate our youth to be safe and responsible while making good decisions as they grow older.
Now let's send it over to Storm Team 10 Chief Meteorologist Alex Zuck for a quick look at the weather. How's it looking out there, Alec?
Hi, Taylor. Well, temperatures are starting to change already as we speak. We were in the 60s today, and that's going to continue to go downward here. We're in the 50s right now, 55 degrees in Phoenix, getting cooler as you go closer to the lakeshore, 50 degrees in Oswego. But as you can see, over in the Buffalo area, you can see those lighter shades of blue moving their way, and that's the cold front passing through. So temperatures are going to start to dip overnight. You can also see here that cold front has been passing through. Those temperatures are dropping right behind it. So you can see that there's some rain off to the east as well. That passed through earlier, but right now it looks like we're starting to dry up. So you can see here, this is what the cold front looks like on a larger scale. This low pressure system is going to be bringing a lot of precipitation overnight, but a different kind. You can see behind the low, snow behind it. So as those temperatures drop, we're also going to have a little bit of snow overnight, just about a half of an inch. But also as that passes through, a wind advisory is in place. National Weather Service has issued it for 7 p.m. tonight into 1 p.m. or 1 a.m. tomorrow, Thursday. So the day planner, you can take a look here. We're going to be cooling down a lot. So 60s today, tomorrow, 26 degrees starting out your morning. Skies start to clear up a little bit with 29 degrees as a high. So much colder tomorrow, and I'll detail more of that coming up in the forecast. But first, Anthony's got a story about the 5K run. Let's hear what that's about.
Thanks for the report, Alec. Over the course of the past year and a half, 11 new lactation rooms have been added to campus. Jamie Aronoff explains how the lactation rooms made their way into several buildings on campus.
It started back with Christina.Galvin. She was a nursing mother, and she didn't have an official place to pump to provide breast milk for her child.
That's Linda Paris, the camping planning coordinator who works with facility services.
The ones that are going to be built into the buildings, they are designed specifically as lactation rooms. So those, that's what their purpose is from the beginning. And these ones are I like to call them found spaces.
The state requires official rooms for lactation. Prior to the new 11 rooms established, there were none on campus. The rooms have been transformed from storage closets or excess space around the campus, and new rooms will be created in coming years from scratch. In a Skype interview, Dr. Christina.Galvin discussed the importance of the lactation rooms. It feels great to do good work and to be part of something larger than yourself. I'm proud to have served my community, said Galvin. Also mentioning that it's one thing to build rooms for lactation, but the real progression movement comes from taking the time to speak about the rooms and what they represent for women. That aspect of the lactation rooms is a step toward campus equality.
Mother myself, this provides a space where moms can be comfortable providing breast milk to their child for however long it might be. Before having these dedicated spaces, then you might be lucky enough to have a single office where you could pump in.
For the entire team who put together lactation rooms, it has been over a year of work that will surely not go unnoticed as faculty are already using the rooms.
There are currently 3 rooms in progress, one in Scales, Tyler, and Wilbur Hall.
The James A. Fitzpatrick nuclear power plant returned to full power operation today after weeks of refueling. Maintenance outage and refueling began on January 14th with more than 1,600 workers and replacing 1/3 of the reactor's fuel and upgrade equipment. Exelon Generation agreed to purchase the power plant before it was scheduled to shut down on January of 2017 and purchase new fuel in order to continue safe and reliable operation. Fitzpatrick Nuclear Power Plant generates electricity for over 800,000 homes and businesses.
The second annual Outrun Autism 5K will kick off Autism Awareness Month in the Oswego community. The run will take participants through Oswego's Fort Ontario area. The 5K will benefit the Oswego County Autism Task Force, who provides autism awareness and helps those affected by autism spectrum disorder in Oswego County. The 5K will kick off at 8:30 a.m. on April 1st in front of the Press Box Restaurant on East 1st Street.
A popular sport has finally made its way to Oswego Club Sports. Jessica Kislick explains how this new team got its start.
Women's club basketball got its start when Brianna Muncie met some girls who showed interest in a club that didn't exist on campus.
Well, the school didn't have it, and I like playing basketball, and I met some other girls who were interested in doing it.
Brianna then found a vice president and asked a graduate of SUNY Oswego, Chelsea Flores, to coach the team.
And I said, yes, of course. I went to school for coaching here. I got my athletic coaching minor, and I thought it would be a good first step to a great coaching career. I have to give her all the credit. That really was all her own.
The team started out small, but is looking forward to more opportunities for home games.
It's a rough start, but we have a really small squad right now.
Each game we improved, so that's good.
We're looking forward to getting a few more home games because everything's been on the road so far.
They have had games in Binghamton and Hamilton so far and are planning to play more teams in the future.
We're going to be playing hopefully at like Cortland, Lemoyne, Cornell, and other schools like that too.
Without the commitment of playing on a collegiate team, players are given the chance to play basketball on a less competitive level.
I've played basketball my whole life, so I'm glad that I have a chance to do it.
The team is looking to expand and looking for people to cheer them on. Jessica Kisla.
For more information, you can follow at Oswego Club B-Ball on Twitter.
Governor Andrew Cuomo delivered remarks at the Sidney Albert Albany Jewish Community Center to condemn hate crimes and highlight the state's actions to combat anti-Semitism. Last week, he announced new actions to combat hate crimes and anti-Semitism in New York, including a $25 million grant program to boost safety and security at New York schools and daycare centers. Governor Cuomo says he wants to assure the Jewish community that the people of New York stand in solidarity with the Jewish community.
44 dogs now have a temporary home at the CNY SPCA after being rescued from a Utica apartment. A woman was hoarding 34 adult dogs and 10 puppies in her small apartment. CNY SPCA Executive Director Karen Conklin says the dogs were living in poor conditions with feces and urine everywhere. The woman who was hoarding the dogs will not face any charges. Conklin says she could barely take care of herself and was evicted because of terrible apartment conditions.
Out of the 50 states in the U.S., New York has been ranked at number 17 overall in quality. The U.S. News and World Report is responsible for the rankings and has placed New York high on the list in a few categories. The Empire State received number 4 in public health and 5th in crime and corrections. However, New York bottoms out with affordability and healthcare quality in the 40s. If you're looking to move to one of the top 3 states, those are Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Minnesota.
The Archdiocese of New York is seeking a $100 million mortgage on property it owns near St. Patrick's Cathedral to fund a compensation program for victims of clergy sexual abuse. The Manhattan-based Archdiocese announced a program last fall to begin paying abusive victims. The land being mortgaged is the site of a luxury hotel on Madison Avenue in Midtown Manhattan. The Archdiocese has owned the property for many decades and leases the land to the owners of the hotel.
Coming up later tonight, over 20 tornadoes ripped through the Midwest.
And 2 women are charged with the murder of Kim Jong-nam.
This is WTOP 10 Nightly News. We'll be right back.
Welcome back from the break. I'm your Storm Team 10 Chief Meteorologist, Alex Zook. Thank you for joining us. Let's talk about what the temperature story is first. Right off the bat here, we were in the 60s today. You can see 63 as a high. The average around March 1st, this time of year is 37 degrees, so what a big difference that is. The low temperature was 49, where the average is around 22. We were close to beating the record high today, but that didn't quite hit. But we are really changing as we speak. So you can see here, let me get out of the way for you. You can see over in the Buffalo area and in Rochester, temperatures are already starting to cool down. We're in the 40s in Buffalo, 42, 48 in Rochester, 54 in Fulton, But then along the lakeshore, you can see here, we're still relatively warm right now. Fairhaven, 52 degrees. Right here in Oswego, we are at 50 degrees. And on top of this, we have this cold front passing through. That's what's going to be cooling those temperatures down, rather. So you can see this cold front is pushing through, and it had some showers associated with it. That passed through. As you can see right now in Oswego, we're starting to dry up. But let's take a bigger look at this picture. So you see this big system that's making its way through. This cold front has already made its way through, but as this low pressure system starts to push its way, there's cold air behind it, and also on top of that, snow as well. So let's talk about how that's going to change. I want to talk about the temperature story first. So you can see here really quickly around the middle of the night, already into the 20s by 4 a.m. tonight in the morning. So really, it just cools down very quick. You got 23 degrees in Fairhaven, 22 in Oswego by tomorrow morning, and we just continue to cool down. There we go. See, by tomorrow night, we're still going to be in the 20s, struggling to reach 30, but it's really not going to go much higher than that. You can see by Friday morning, it cools down even more by 21 degrees. But here's where we're going to be right as of now. That cold front is passing through, but then as we pass through to over the later hours, you can see there's a mixture of some rain and snow in the higher elevations and just some thick cloud cover for us. But you can see that these bands of snow are starting to form as well, and that thickens overnight by 4 a.m. So overnight, you're going to see an accumulation of about ½ an inch. Not too much to worry about. I would just be careful on the roads when you're commuting tomorrow morning. But you can see that that persists overnight. But then it starts to really clear up, leading way to some partly cloudy skies. And then the predicted snowfall, this is overestimating it. I would say we're having just about ½ an inch, although it is safe to say that we could see some accumulation overnight. Projected wind speeds, take a look at this, 34 degrees. This is absolutely crazy because this is sustained. So on top of that, you can have wind speeds gusting up even higher than that, up into the 40-mile-per-hour range. So this low pressure system, as it passes through, is bringing a lot with us. There's a wind advisory between 7 p.m. tonight and 1 p.m. tomorrow as well. So it's going to be a windy day tomorrow. Make sure you're prepared for that. Tonight's forecast, temperatures drop, and there is a chance of snow overnight. It's safe to say you could see at least some flurries in your area overnight. 25 degrees as a low. Winds really gusting, especially into tomorrow. You can see this AM snow chance. So you're going to see it continue into the morning, but then it starts to clear up. 31 degrees as a high, way different than today, as you can see. But then it starts to clear up with some partly cloudy skies. 30 to 35 mile-per-hour winds, and I'm saying that it could go even higher than that. So very windy tomorrow. That's the big story. Tomorrow night's forecast starts to come a bit more calm with 20 degrees, so it gets really chilly, but then those winds start to bounce back to more of a normal story for us around this time of year. It really is just a roller coaster forecast for us. So look at the 7-day forecast. So we were in the 60s, like I said, cooling down to 31 degrees tomorrow, and then over the weekend going down to the teens, warming back a little bit up on Monday, but then you can see a chance of rain and some snow starting again towards the beginning of the week next week. That's your full forecast. Stay tuned for more news and sports after the break. You're watching WTOP 10.